Good morning, YouTube. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is June 20th, 2015, and it's about 6:15 a.m. I actually was up about a little over an hour now, and I woke up thinking about these incidences that has been happening in the U.S. The latest story is about that 21-year-old man from South Carolina. I just remember his last name, Ruth. And the other person is Rachel Dolezal. She's the white woman who's impersonating a black person to get in our black institution, the NAACP. She reached up as high as the president of the Spokane, Washington branch. Wow. This is something else. I'm kind of like lost for words about these two people. And as I mentioned in my prior video, just before this one, that what the two have in common, this white man and white woman, they both believe in white supremacy. We're trusting. We think because someone is married to someone from the community, the black community, that they're welcome in our institutions. We have to be more selective who comes in. And just because someone, as we learned through Dolezal, that just because she's married to a black person and has a child through that union, they still can be used as spies or plants, a government agent. They could infiltrate and then control from the inside. And then with the shooter in South Carolina, he posed as a student of the Bible in a Bible study at a black church. It was 8 p.m. He definitely wasn't from that community, and no one questioned him. He was allowed to come in. They didn't frisk him or search his bags or anything like that. He came in, stayed for the hour for the Bible study, and then commenced shooting, killing 6 women and 3 men. And even in his stupor of shooting, he accused us of being rapists of white women, even though most of the women that were killed were women themselves. So it shows that he was irrational in his thinking, but filled with hate, and hate even towards all women. And as I mentioned in that other video, that historically American black women were very nurturing to white families. Black women breastfed white babies. We cleaned white people's homes. We cooked for them. We did a lot of things for them. We took care of their children. Everything. We never harmed them, historically. But yet this white male, only 21 years old, not a lot of experience, he's a high school dropout, but yet his community is teaching him that we're rapists and that we're taking over the country, even though our numbers are dwindling. We trusted him in our institution. I had gone into an institution once, um, a place of worship. I was searched. I should say my purse was searched. Had a small little dinky purse that just had tissue and my eyeglasses in it. And that was it. And I was searched. They don't trust us. And it's not the first time that I was racially profiled. I was profiled twice at Chase Manhattan Bank. Twice. And then I was also racially profiled at the Bank of New York. Do I look like a terrorist? A rapist? A person that uses harsh language? I'm a very easygoing person. I believe in peace, unity. I don't even eat meat or animal products. I believe in being kind to one another and being kind to nature. That's my new spirituality. I promote peace. But these actions, these past few days, prove harmful, and that just being peaceful is not protecting me. We're too trusting as a people, at least we're trusting to white people. And we think just because they're interested in our music, our dance, our food, our clothing and fashion, our places of worship, that they want to be friends with us. And life is showing me that this is a fallacy. We have to start to really think, and think like the people who want to do us harm. We've been in the Americas, for the past 500 years, and we're not doing that well. Sure, the individuals who do very well in the U.S. overall, but at a price. Our schools aren't places of education, but they're prisons for children, our children. We walk on the street, and what happens? We're profiled. We're shot dead at their will. And this is proving more and more every day. I was watching the videos online regarding the shooting of those 9 innocent black people in church. What's going on in the white psyche these days? Why do they feel a need to hurt the indigenous people on this planet? I question. Only thing I can say is, in light of everything that's going on, what are possible solutions? We have to start thinking with wisdom, not with violence. See, violence promotes violence, and as we learned from the shooter, this man, he goes by the name Roof, that's his last name, that he actually wanted to promote violence within the community, and the same as Dolezal. They wanted to promote black people's anger so that we will fight. And again, we don't have bombs and weaponry like white people have. So there's a new type of warfare. This is a warfare that we have to be more clever about. Through wisdom, through the mind. It was a a mind that created that man Ruth's mentality. We have to start enhancing our mind. We have to become conscious of who we are. We have to stop trying to assimilate into their world, because we see that trying to assimilate in their society is just another means of keeping our hands tied up in chains while they're kicking at us and beating us. We have to use wisdom and be able to be with other people, set up real community. We have to start controlling our lives and creating our institutions and not have people infiltrated, not even our church anymore, not even our homes anymore, as with Dolezal. Her whole point was to infiltrate and learn as much as she can about our community and destroy us by trying to incite race wars. We're not going to give them war. That's what they want from us. Because soon, when we pick up arms, they're going to come and they're going to shoot us dead. And I think that's horrible. So you might be asking, well, what do you want? What do we do? I don't have all the answers, and I may not even have one answer. But I would like to share with you what I was thinking. I think the first line of defense is awakening. True spiritual awakening. And this is done in stages. We have to stop watching their television, their media, because it's all about social control over your mind, over your body, to make you hate yourself, to put you in a stupor. Who in their right mind would let a person at 8 p.m. at night, who's not a member of that neighborhood even, come in their church for Bible study and not question him, what his motive was? Okay? We have to stop being so trusting and really hold accountable our institutions, like the NAACP, what they're really about. Are they about protecting your interests? Are these institutions, are these pastors, leaders, are they members of the Masons, Black Masons? Do they have the Greek letters? These are institutions that are designed by white people, and it's not for black interests. That should be a first thing. The institutions that you go to, find out whether these leaders are members of these organizations or the like. If they are, they're working for white people and white interests. What schools do you go to? You have young children? Are the teachers in your school, do they look like your children? Or are they white women who are there to support their white children? So they're not going to teach you the same things that they teach their children. They're going to keep your mind small. They're going to keep your classrooms full to capacity, like 40 students per room. They're going to have bars on the windows, like a jail. to indoctrinate them to be used to prison life. What books do they read? Do they learn West African history, African American history about the slave trade, what the slave trade really was about? Okay? Do they teach you in school what your native language was in West Africa and Central Africa? Do you learn about the religions, the traditional religions that they practiced then? Do you learn about local history in their communities as it pertains to you? Do you learn about the indigenous people of the Americas? Do you know about what their language was? What the name of the tribes are that they were in? Because Indian is not the identity. Indians are people from India. That's in Southern Asia. So here you're giving false names about people. So if they can control about your identity, they can also control about the information about them. And the information could be false or just outright lies. Do you control your food source? Where do you go to get your food? Are there people that look like you that grow the food, that work at the cashier desk? You know? Who are they? Where do you get the food? Are the food, is it processed food? In your neighborhood, do you have more fast food outlets than large, flourishing supermarkets that has excellent produce? This is another weapon against you. It's to destroy your health. If we could survive slavery for over 400 years in the Americas and we were strong, why is it now we're very weak? We're getting diabetes. We have a large stomach. Why do we have cardiovascular disease? Why do we have diabetes? Okay? Why are we getting cancer? This should be telling to you. Do you go to church? What color is the God on your wall? What does it look like? Does it look like you? Does this God speak the same type of language you speak? You have to ask yourself these questions. These are all weapons that white people use against you. Okay? It's not, they don't have a gun in their hands shooting you, I mean, they do. But in these examples, these are passive weapons of destruction for you. But those things you can disarm by choosing you don't want them in your community. These churches, are they practicing the practices that your people have done through the generations? These religions are here to promote white supremacy and have you worship a God that never seems to help you out. This Bible is designed by white people, white Europeans, to destroy indigenous peoples. You have to look at what they do with this Bible. We've been holding hands and singing the same song, "We shall overcome." But have we? And are white people about reform. If they're so religious and God-fearing, whether they be Protestant or Catholic, how come they haven't given reparations yet? If it's about being fair, They haven't been fair, and they haven't been righteous using their Bible. Start holding accountability for their own words. If they're God-fearing people, why are they destroying us? When you go to church, where does your money go when you go to church? Whose pockets does the money go into? And does the money that goes into that church, is it used for your edification and empowerment? You may ask, what do you mean by this? Well, the money, does it just go straight to the white bank? Or does it go into buying land so you can buy your own food, land that you can build your own schools and medical facilities? This is how it's supposed to work. If you're going to have their religion, at least make it work for you. Okay? You have beautiful gospel music. But do you own your music? Or are you having the people sing for white record companies who control distribution of your music? And you don't own your music. So when that person dies and grows old, there's no money to support that person. That black person who created that music. But these white institutions are sapping you. They don't need slavery anymore because you're performing and doing all this stuff for white people, and they get richer and richer, and you get poorer and poorer. As you see with Dolenzal, she's about taking your culture and marketing it and then profiting off of it. We have to start using our head. That's what I mean. This is what the real war is about. Your mind. Start using your head. You can control it. Take back the power. Take back all your power. Create your own food, your own gardens, your own schools. When you're born, where are you born? Are you born in a hospital that they control? Do you know that they give your children shots that has mercury and other toxins in it? Don't you wonder why there's an increase of autism amongst black people? Why there's so much violence, this rage that is increasing in our community? We weren't even this enraged when we were enslaved. So why now? Why are we born in their institutions? My grandmother, on my father's side, was born, her children were all born at home. My father never had any childhood disease. Okay, but he did develop diabetes because he starts eating their food. He got obese. We need to be born in our own homes, or at least in our own hospitals, our own midwives, and stop using these vaccines or whatever what they call it. It's killing us. It's destroying our strength. Transportation. We use these trains here in New York City. It's congested, it's dirty. It's not for our benefit. Shouldn't we have our own transportation? Remember in the 1950s when they did the bus boycott? We used our own transportation. We took care of ourselves. It's their system, it's their train system. They ship you like cattle. It's cramped, it's filthy. You go to other countries, you notice how clean it is. And they have a lot of people, but it's clean. But soon when you dominate the population that uses these public transportation, you notice how more and more unkept it becomes. This is by design. This is how they really think about you. We have to start being more accountable for our behavior. I would say the first thing is, anyone who's watching this video, you have parents and siblings, discuss it. What could you do on a local level to change things around? I would say the first thing is your home. Organize your home that suits your needs. Okay? Build your own housing. Rather than putting your money in some church, use your money to build your own home, your own schools. Or if you want to have their church, at least make it work for you. Have it work for your needs. Don't try to assimilate with them, because we see that assimilation is not the answer. I was hoping it was the answer growing up, but I see that it's not, because it's perpetuating white supremacy. Start empowering yourself on a local level, starting in your own home, your own apartment. Being kind to your body by eating clean food, clean water. And if it's not clean, demand that place where you buy your food, you're not going to accept this food anymore. Stop watching this television. It's used to zap your energy and mind control you, to reinforce, white supremacy. Don't watch their media. This television and radio programs that you watch, it's always with white people in mind. Just like in the 1950s, they didn't allow black people on television because it might upset white people. How dumb are we to continue watching this television? They are trying to now put in more black people on television. The talk shows. It's just to pacify you. This television is being sponsored by mainstream white-owned companies that want to take advantage of people, in my opinion. They're controlling our food sources. It's all about them. Stop buying those products, their products. Just like in the 1950s, we stopped using their public transportation. Stop buying these products on television that promote white supremacy, or they promote black buffoonery and have black people on to make themselves look stupid, and they think that's funny, or to look like a hoodlum, a thug, carrying a gun, looking foolish and spooky. This is still white supremacy when they show black imagery like that. It promotes it. It's saying that black people are insane and the white people are. Okay? So they have a reason why to exploit you and control you. Control your mind, black people. Control your mind. That's the first line of defense. If you can't control your own mind, someone else will control you. Be careful who comes into your neighborhood, as we see with Rachel Dolezal and this Mr. Roof. They come in, they plant drugs, and it's for your demise. Every woman, black woman, mixed race woman, West Indian woman, black Latina woman, you're the queen in your house. Many of these houses are female-run homes. You're the first line of defense. You see someone bringing in drugs in your house, in your community, in your school, you demand them to get out. Women, take control. Take control over your domain. Demand them to get out of your community. Out them. Say, get out. That simple. Your school system. First line of defense again, the black woman. You demand you get teachers that look like your children, teaching your curriculum. An empty classroom has no power. You keep your kids at home. You put a lock and key in that door. And if the authorities try to come and take your children, you lock that door. You don't let anybody in your neighborhood. You take control, and you're going to see things change around. They say, wow, we can't control them anymore. See, foundations are built on small things, really small things, but they add up and become large bricks and form large structures. You have to first focus on those small little bricks. And that's the home. You control your home. They can't get all of you at once. They can't throw all of you in jail. You find out who your neighbor is. Your black neighbor. Find out. Women, come together. Work together. And start change in your community. Who dominates the church? The black church. The woman. Okay? The power is right in your hand and you don't even realize it. You can take over your community overnight. I kid you not. You can control what food comes into your neighborhood. Don't buy it. Don't buy the crap that they've been giving you. And stop with those foolish hair weaves. You don't like your hair, you wear a headscarf. Do you see me wearing a weave? This is my natural hair. Stop doing that foolishness. Look like a fool. You go natural. You eat natural food. Stop with this foolishness. You look like a cow. Take back your health. My grandmother was 86 years old, and I got a cousin who's 91 years old. We take control of what we eat. Take control and stop eating that foolish fast food poison. See that? The power is really in your hands and you don't realize it. You don't realize it. You have all the power. Yep. All the power. Get off your behind and start taking action. You go to church, well, that church should be supporting you. You go to church now to think of strategies to take control of your community and stop singing the song, "We Shall Overcome." That's a weak song. you sing another song of empowerment that I have. I have the power. I have the power to change things overnight. You have children in the military? Are they in countries right now that look like people like you? Are they being served? The people there, are they being destroyed? When your black children come home from the military, are there jobs for them? Are there homes for them? No. So that's another line of defense. You demand your children to come home from the military, or block your children to enter the military. That is also a form of white supremacy. You don't go fight in their wars anymore. You keep your children home. You might say, well, there's no jobs in our community. Well, that means you have to think smart. You use the church to discuss matters. How you're going to fight this war of faith, of action. And it's not by sending your children off to war. You fight the battleground using your mind. Okay? Start thinking smart. Start working together. Because what white supremacy wants to do is to incite you to start a race war. Don't give them the satisfaction. Not one more black person, man, woman, or child should die from this point. Stop the violence against ourselves. Women, take control of your household. Stay out of those fast food restaurants. Demand fresh, wholesome, organic food, or non-organic but good quality food in your community. Don't buy it. If it ain't fresh, don't buy it. Get a shopping cart. Go into other areas. But in the meanwhile, start with your church and think, let's buy land. Also, start discussing family in your household, about reparations. Reparations comes from the word repair. It means that something was broken or harmed. We have to start thinking reparations for us. We need it. We need this reparations for us to move forward. And it's not about hating. Hate evil. But reparations, if this is supposed to be a godly nation, and a nation that doesn't promote hate, remember they say that the fight on terrorism? Isn't this terrorism that's happening to us? Yes, I believe in stopping terrorism, and part of that solution is reparations. If white people are not discussing reparations, they're not your friend. Start discussing in your church, wherever where you gather, about reparations. This is food for thought, not a food for war, but a food for new enlightenment through consciousness, through wisdom. That is what's going to push us forward in life. The power is in your own hands, and you don't even realize it. So, I shared this with you, and I urge you to share my video. You can comment below, And feel free to subscribe and to give me, as they say, the thumbs up. Peace, joy, and harmony to you all. Bye-bye.